Welcome back to DHN. I'm Wade Teamer. So we're going to be taking a look at some of the most powerful assets within the XLM ecosystem. And I'm also going to show you how you can get involved with some of these assets, whether you want to use some of these protocols or invest in them. Stick around throughout this whole video. I promise you're going to find some value. Now, to start, you want to go to Stellar Expert. This is the Ledger Explorer and analytics platform for everything Stellar Lumens. You can look at transaction history, see which ones succeeded and which ones have failed, ledger statistics, asset statistics, performance, as well as wallet accounts, which let's just start here for a second, because I don't recall anyone reporting that Stellar Lumens is now sitting at a new all-time high for number of accounts. Very interesting, very interesting. But if you look over here on the right, you can see assets on Ledger. And fishing through this list is kind of how this video came together, folks. You can see these are some very interesting pairs. Of course, your XLM, and then you have a couple forms of wrapped assets, wrapped XLM, another form of wrapped USDC. You have native USDC, Bitcoin Lightning asset, Argentinian asset, XRP, tokenized ETH, Stronghold. Oh, we're going to be talking about that. Brazilian tokens, this CHF, I believe that's the Swiss franc. Someone correct me if I'm wrong here. But yeah, let's explore all these assets, guys. And this is going to bring up the assets and trust lines. Now, if you've been deep in the weeds with Stellar, you probably know the importance of trust lines, but I'm going to explain it to you here. Simply, trust lines are how assets build out their ecosystems on Stellar. In order to establish a trust line, you must have a certain amount of XLM. Essentially, what happens is that XLM is issued to you, and from that, you're allowed to establish the total amount supply of your token, build out any applications, and from your pool of XLM, from your trust line, fees will be handled, any blockchain operations, things like that. And you can see here, guys, this is also some pretty high metrics. We have new highs for total established trust lines. Newly created assets are on a decline. Now, I actually find that to be a good thing because it shows that the system is being filtered out. All of the bad players are getting out of the way. I do want to add that point here. As I was fishing through these assets, a lot of them were not as active as they were in the beginning, which is a perfect way to get into our list, because let's talk about those that are making some moves. Right here, we're looking at Relio. Now, when it comes to tokenized real estate, oh, wasn't supposed to show you that yet, but when it comes to tokenized real estate, Relio is the network for XLM, guys, and they've been in the space since about 2020. They got pretty big funding from a company called Valentis back in 2020, and they also have a pretty interesting application outside of the typical, you can stake it. They're getting into NFTs. They have a non-custodial wallet in the form of Freehold. But what I want to show you is this offering here. And it's very interesting because we are post-halving here. And what they have is Liquid Mining Fund, LMX. This is a fully tokenized special purpose vehicle that provides investors exposure to Bitcoin mining, focusing on immersion cooling technology and sustainable power sources such as hydroelectricity. This is going to be a very big talking point post-halving, because what essentially happened with the halving, ladies and gentlemen, mining rewards got cut in half. And I made this point in previous videos. The pre-established miners, they're now having to work twice as hard to generate revenue. And if you have to pay 50% of anything that you bring in just to keep your hardware running, then yeah, some changes are gonna have to be made. And assets like this and the development with PayPal and Energy Web, yes, I saw that. Yes, I am planning a video on that. This is an opportunity here. This is going to be a very strong opportunity. And outside of that, guys, You're also going to add the ability to exchange these assets. Liquid Mining Fund is a peer-to-peer marketplace on the Relio platform that facilitates direct transactions and interactions between LMX holders. Functions as an OTC marketplace, being non-custodial, not having deposits on escrow. Every transaction is peer-to-peer with no counterparty risk. So this is a reflection of what's being called climate financing. All right. Basically, these are new ways, innovative ways to finance climate initiatives. And I know when we bring up the climate, ladies and gentlemen, it, depending on who you are, you may have an opinion for or against. My focus is the fact that the narrative hasn't stopped. So if it hasn't stopped, you can expect money to be driven into it. So to see Relio adding that to their repertoire is very interesting. Now, what we're looking at here is the new and improved Relio Fund app. And you can see they got a couple offerings here with some more stuff coming soon. Let's look at this Relio Network LTD. This is how you're able to get involved with tokenized real estate, ladies and gentlemen, fractional shares of real world assets. Yes, this is something I should have led with, but Relio has been in the real world asset game for quite some time here. Yes, going all the way back to their origins, guys. Relio partners with $250 million Valentis fund to tokenize institutional and grade investment opportunities. So this doesn't just expand to real estate, but we've seen a lot of discussion around ETFs and money market funds and things like that. Relio has that ability also, ladies and gentlemen. So very interesting asset. My intent is not to go too deep into each one, or this video would be way too long. So let's move on to the next one. Velo. Now, we've covered Velo once before. We talked about their Asian influence. We've talked about their royal family connections, as my brother Crypto Canvas likes to put it. If XRP had a twin in Asia, it would be Velo. So Velo is an interesting project from that aspect. And like I said, we won't dig too deep into the market into the asset, but I will show you a couple pieces of information that I found to be very interesting. Like this, for example, Lightnet, which is the parent company for Velo, becomes Sabai's largest shareholder. Now, Sabai is essentially a e-commerce giant over in Asia. And now that Lightnet has acquired a majority stake in their business, or a substantial stake, not fully majority, it's just 40.3%, but that's still a substantial amount. And what we can imagine coming from this is their services merging into the Web3 space. So that's going to be very powerful, as well as this one here. They recently partnered with Solana to establish clearinghouse for Laos digital gold transactions. Very deep. Not sure if my brother broke down this yet, so we'll dive into this for a second. Velo, in collaboration with his partner Lightnet, is pleased to announce the signing of an MOU with the Solana Foundation for its Laos Gold project. Solana will act as the blockchain settlement layer, and Velo will be the backbone infrastructure layer, as well as the designated clearinghouse for Laos's digital gold transactions under the Gold project. This combination will ensure efficient and secure processing of transactions on the blockchain. The MOU also includes a robust bridging mechanism to enhance interoperability between Solana's Layer 1, Nova, and EVM compatible chains. This initiative aligns with the blockchain principle of interconnectedness, promoting connectivity and accessibility of digital assets across different blockchain networks. That is the name of the game. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're getting into the space, understand not one asset is going to rule them all. We are heading into a multi-chain world, and I'll be the first one to tell you that. Again, guys, Velo is a very powerful project. For more alpha, I'm definitely going to recommend you check out the bro Crypto Canvas. As you can see here, hella Velo game. He's also covered another asset that we're going to talk about a little bit later, but before that, let's get into the next one. This one is Aquarius, one of the youngest on the list. Honestly, they are bringing liquidity to the XLM ecosystem. Essentially what that means is what they're aiming to do right now is provide liquidity incentives, rewards for builders on XLM. So this isn't necessarily retail facing. The advantage though is the fact that as XLM grows, as Soraban, which is the smart contract platform, as that grows, there will be more of these tokens up for grabs. I'm assuming that that will make them more scarce as, you know, we get closer to the cap for Aqua. And another thing that's very interesting to me is some of the pairs that they are adding liquidity to. Great British Pound Mirror with Korean Won Mirror, courtesy of Mirror Assets. They've also done that with the Euro, and as well as a couple other assets. And then you have, of course, Aqua to USDC. And then XLM to XRP trading through Stellar Org, XLM to Tezos, XLM to Bitcoin, the Euro coin. The list, it really gets vast, ladies and gentlemen. And that is what caught my attention, is because Aquarius seems to position itself in between networks. So if you are running a protocol or an application and you need a couple more dollars essentially to make it happen, if you're integrated with Aqua, then yeah, you're definitely going to win. Some recent news from them, they actually just partnered with another OG in the space, and I gotta follow them. Don't know how that didn't happen, but Ultra Stellar. They are thrilled to announce a new partnership with Aquarius. This collaboration is set to enhance experience on Stellar and Soraban, bringing new functionalities and opportunities to our fingertips. Together, we're diving deep to enhance liquidity and innovation on the Stellar network. So yes, you can access this on the main wallet for the Stellar ecosystem. As you can see, Lobster. We'll touch on that in a second, but that's Aquarius. Like I said, young asset, still providing, still learning its way through the XLM ecosystem, what it wants to offer, but it's one I believe is worth watching. Alongside this one, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about Stronghold, okay? Definitely one of the OGs on this list, older than Relio. So if you haven't heard about Stronghold, there's a number of crypto channels that have covered this token. It is a very, very hidden gem. That's the best way I can describe it, because what Stronghold does is a number of things. It is the next generation of payment ecosystem. So think next generation Stripe, next generation Plaid, where they provide the Web3 digital infrastructure for a traditional company to get involved with payments. Now, where they take it to the next level is in some of their offerings. Let's look at it here. For one, ACH payments. Now, ACH, automated clearinghouse payments, are typically used between business to consumers or businesses to process the much bigger transactions. Stronghold has been specializing in this for a number of years. Stronghold Direct, which is a very easy way to accept crypto payments with no coding solutions, no need to set up an entirely new app. You simply use Stronghold Direct. It allows you to create a link, and through that link, you can send and receive any form of currency, whether crypto or fiat, ladies and gentlemen. So we talk a lot about streamlining the process for payments and streamlining the process for people who are completely oblivious to crypto. Though the assets that pull that off are going to have the biggest advantage. All right. Now, we won't get too deep into partnerships because they are definitely there. Again, my goal with this video is to simply expose you to these assets that have been building on XLM. And you can see here, they also do card payments. So if you're looking to buy crypto with credit or debit card, they offer services that will allow you to give that functionality to your customers. So again, not intending to go too deep with any of these, just want to show you the assets that are rocking clearing and settlement in seconds, not days, on the Stellar network. On top of that, you guys have been telling me for a number of years about Stronghold, guys, and this is just a look at Stronghold's price against XLM. It's actually up 2%. It's making its way up. So that's pretty interesting. And again, the wallet that you can get all of these assets on is the Lobster wallet. Now, when it comes to security being legit, this was one of the first wallets within the XLM network. They have not been hacked. You haven't heard about them in the news. They have been a huge proponent for XLM's expansion, development. They were one of the first wallets to get on board with the MoneyGram access, that whole relationship that they established with MoneyGram. So Lobster is a very reliable solution. Yes, I do use it myself. And when you get on there, you'll have the ability to trade against all of these assets. Let me see, Lumens to USDC, Aqua, all of the wrapped pairs, the Argentinian token, the peso, Stronghold, Afrium. Afrium needs an entire video by itself. I was going to add that, but that's a very deep project. Now, this one here, very interesting. Fred Energy, that's actually the next one we're going to dive into, guys. Now, yeah, you can tell I'm a bit of an environmental enthusiast. Okay, I couldn't help it. I grew up in the Gore era, you know. Maybe you can call it programming. But like I always say when we talk about this subject, the narrative isn't stopping. The plan globally is to put as much money behind these climate financing projects as possible. This reminds me of a very small scale version of an energy web. Hedera holders may recognize this as being similar to Dovu, but essentially exploration of blockchain and tokenized assets for the green sector. VeChain has been digging a lot into green incentives. So they're creating apps that where you do certain activities and you'll get rewarded in certain tokens. So if you do an activity like recycling, taking out your trash, doing it for your neighbor, taking out your neighbor's trash, right? You'll get rewards for that. Where they seem to be, Fred, approaching it from the hardware side. So you can buy eco-friendly and green energy related products with fiat or crypto carbon saving NFTs on Stellar. And then this Soul Bank project, which is circular investment and funding system for our green energy related projects. They're building out a social ecosystem through that. So again, not diving too deep into these assets, ladies and gentlemen, just looking to expose, because of how the green narrative is set up, I am making a point to keep an eye out on any of these sorts of innovations. Now, last asset I got for you, and this one is a bit questionable, I will say that. Now, we talked about MintX in my last Stellar video on the bigger picture. Yes, let's just get it out of the way. This is precious metals being tokenized on Stellar, but this is an independent project. That means that they're independent of the Stellar Development Foundation. To me, though, that just came off as the type of scenario that we're typically going to see. They're not entitled to lean on Stellar Development or, partner with them. Stellar's technology is open source. So any company on any part of the world who can learn their system, learn this network, can apply it to whatever they wish. So that's what I see MintX as being. Their issue, though, there's a lot of things going on with the gold markets when it comes to moving gold around. So I think they have to get over that barrier for sure before that one really starts bringing a whole lot of value to the network. So I'm gonna show you this platform too, Stellar X. Now, when you get your Lobster wallet, you can connect to this platform and really get some trading done. And what I really find interesting is when you look for gold, there are a lot of gold pairs on Stellar. Okay, gold to silver, gold to XLM, gold to USDC, gold to Stronghold, and this is all coming through MintX. MintX. They're providing liquidity for these pairs. This is very early on, no doubt. Don't get me wrong, but I am very curious to see where this goes because it's not being done often, at least to my knowledge. A lot of people give Stellar heat for not moving on the price charts fast enough. Well, when you take a deeper look at what's being built, you start to understand why. But that's all I got for you. If you found value in this content, make sure you hit that like and subscribe for more. If you're looking to pick up some crypto, Stellar Lumens perhaps, I'm using Uphold. Link to that will be down in the description. Once I'm done buying my crypto on Uphold, I move it to my hardware wallet, which is the SafePal hardware wallet. Link to that will also be down in the description. And now here comes the best part. If that money is digital, so is the hustle.